My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC 260, we have Jessica Penne after, I think, a 20-year layoff since her last fight versus Hannah Goldy.
Actually, it was 4.
Oh, for only 4 years in the prime of your career. So this is an interesting one. We have seen a lot of these fights in the women's divisions recently where they're taking these tried and true veterans, matching them up against sort of these up-and-comers that they're trying to build up. And it has not really worked well for the up-and-comers. This is another one of those situations where Jessica Penne is – the layoff is a giant question mark, but she is a vet in this division, and she's fought everybody and has that experience. And Hannah Goldy does not. She's new to the division. She has her own layoff going on here, but I see this as the UFC trying to build up Hannah. But what are your thoughts, Nick? How do you see this going?
No, I'm a little biased. Jessica Penne is a friend of mine. We hung out through the circuit a few times, and I like her a lot as a person. She's good. She's a legitimate good grappler. And it's been 4 years off. She had a tough little streak, but if you look at the people she lost to Joanna when Joanna was hot, Jessica Andrade, who's fighting for the 125-pound title, and then she lost a decision to Danielle Taylor, who's one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. Took 4 years off, but she wasn't like just BSing. She was helping. If you look and you see Angela Hill fight, she works a corner all the time. She trains with Angela Hill. She's her main training partner. And Angela Hill has looked amazing. And Jessica Penne is the one that she trains with. So she's definitely staying sharp and still training. So maybe she was just a little burnt out. You've been training and fighting for so long. It's tricky. I feel like her grappling is enough to get this done. In her fight, it was a long time ago, but Randa Marcos is a good wrestler, and Jessica Penne was out wrestling her, and I think that she can do that this fight. She's a live dog. Even with 4 years off, I think that she will win this fight. And I think it's just her grappling only and her ability to hit the takedowns. She'll smother Hannah Goldy, and she could win by submission as well.
So I 100% agree with you. I do question the 4-year layoff. I don't question why, but I just question.
Wasn't it USADA?
I don't think it was USADA. A 4-year suspension from USADA.
No, it was a 20-month suspension for USADA, what I read, and I'm sure there was something else tagged on there. I don't know if it was an injury or whatever, but it was USADA for part of it.
Yeah, 4 years is a very long time. The layoff is a big question mark for me. So I know Dan, Nick, neither one of you guys have had that long of a layoff really at any point. So, I agree with Nick. I think Jessica Penne is the better fighter. She has the experience, and we have seen experience means more than anything in sort of these type fights where they're trying to build up an up-and-comer. Especially, Hannah Goldy's an up-and-comer, but she's not like a world beater up-and-comer. They're trying to build her up. I just think this is too big of a step forward. So, Jacob, I'll go to you. What are your – yeah, I know. I didn't go to you last. You've been getting annoyed at me. So I'll go to you.
I want everyone to rewind and watch how fast Dan muted his mic, gave a nasty look, and then took a drink of his water. He was pissed that you just went to me.
He was going to go last, and he's going to have some awesome insight, and people clicked off of this because they already heard what they wanted to hear.
I muted my mic. I didn't want you to get upset if I accidentally said, "Hey, Jacob," you're like, "All right, it's my turn now."
It is my turn now. Thank you.
This is not water.
First, I want to start by saying if Jessica Penne is a friend of Nick's, she's a friend of mine, and she's a friend of ours. So I just want to lead with that, Jessica. And I agree with you guys. I thought I was going to be the only one that saw it that way, but her grappling is just like it's next level when I watch this. Her judo throws are incredible. She gets on top. She stays on top. And Hannah Goldy, as tough as she is and as good as she is, I just don't love the way she fights for this matchup. She doesn't have a lot of power. Everything is almost just kind of in the pocket. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Very fast, very tough. And she also has a 1.5 year layoff of her own. And if I watched an interview of hers, it's all because of injuries. She had fights booked. She kept getting hurt. She actually said that she changed the way that she trains in her entire training camp to like make sure she didn't get hurt, which, that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. It seems like you should just kind of full bore the entire time. Obviously you can take some precautions, but if you're training not to get hurt, that seems a little bit weird. So I have Jessica Penne winning this fight. She's not in my lineup, but I think she wins this fight and almost in a dominant fashion.
Yeah. So Dan, I'll go to you. I think Jessica Penne is probably the livest dog on this card, if you're not counting Stipe Miocic as an underdog. So I don't, what are your thoughts here? But quickly, do you think a 4-year layoff matters as much as and don't quote Dominic Cruz as the example, because he's not the example, but do you think a 4-year layoff is as big of a deal as I think it is?
Yeah, no, I think it always matters. Probably depends on the person, right? Different people deal with things differently, but no, of course it matters. But to Nick's point, listen, she's 37 years old, I think, 38 years old. She's coming back after
this year. Jessica, I'll be 35 this year.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, no,
she's 38 years old on Sure Dog.
I thought he was pissed.
No, I just knew you were wrong. I had to just double check it real quick.
I was telling her that I'm 30. I'll be 35.
Oh, I thought you were correct. So you were interrupting me now, like you always complain about. So
right.
Sorry. Okay. Just you're so you're okay. We'll have her. You'll DM her or whatever it is that you do to everybody every week. No, I think honestly, the 4-year layoff could be a factor, but like Nick said, she's been training with top level talent. She's been in corner. She's been at events. It's not like she's been out there doing nothing. And I think just, forget about on paper. She's fought the tougher competition. She was in there with 2 of the best in the world. I just think, and then more so from what I saw in Goldy's last fight, like she looked all right, but I didn't see anything too crazy impressive out of her. She hit hard, but she leaves her chin straight up in the air. Didn't really have a sense of urgency. So I would imagine for Jessica Penne to come back after this long waiting, she's going to be motivated. You don't come back after 4 years half-ass, I don't think. Like if you make the choice to come back at that age, like you're coming, you're getting ready. I think she's going to come out. I think she's going to win the fight. So yeah, I'd agree with all you guys. She is definitely the pick and certainly alive. Is she an underdog right now? I had plus 100. So I guess.
Yeah, it's about even, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think she's the pick though.
So I pulled it up while we were chatting. The 4-year layoff is all suspension. So USADA suspended her for 4 years.
Really? I read 20 months, but
yeah. And then they added to it. So there's a whole, you know what? I'll put a link in the description of this video to the MMA Junkie article.
What did she do? Obviously,
it's an unspecified steroid. They fought it, and then USADA just like added more time.
Like, how dare you question us?
So, and obviously, I haven't read this whole article while we've been chatting, but I knew about the initial suspension. But it is the full 4 years is USADA. So check it out if you want to. It definitely muddies the water, but at the end of the day, it wasn't her physical imposing style and, strength that won her fights. It was her grappling technique, and that's still there, and I'm still picking her to win. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.